What's up, everybody? This is Zach with New England Sports Talk. Today we are recapping the 2019 NBA Draft Lottery. Just wrapped up maybe 10 minutes ago. I had to get my computer all set up and my mic all set up again. But I'm ready to recap it with you guys as usual. We're going to kind of go through this starting from we'll probably start from the 14th pick and kind of move our way forward. By now you've probably already seen it, but I'll give my give my thoughts on the draft order, what I think was shocking, what I thought was kind of normal, that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So starting with the 14th pick, we've got the Boston Celtics getting the 14th number pick. And no shock there. Miami gets number 13. No shock there. Number 12, Hornets get the 12th pick. No shock there either. Each of those three teams were what they projected to be. They each had 1% each to get the number one overall pick. And obviously that's not a very good odds. Now jumping into pick, and I apologize, I'm not really talking too much about those teams because there's a lot of stuff that happened, especially at the end of the draft. We're going to talk about here the draft lottery. The 11th pick should have gone to the Los Angeles Lakers, but it didn't, and I'm pumped because that's my team. So I'm a Lakers fan, been a Lakers fan since I was in the 5th grade. Ever since I did a book report on Kobe Bryant, that's been my favorite player. No joke, that's a real story. Anyway, so the number 11 pick actually goes to Minnesota. Minnesota was supposed to go 10, according to the odds. They had a 3% chance. The Lakers had 2% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. So Minnesota just comes down. They just drop down 1. So not a huge deal, but obviously you'd rather have the 11th pick than you'd rather have the 10th pick than the 11th pick. Now number 10, this is where it gets fun. I wouldn't say it's fun if you're a Hawks fan, but the Hawks went 8. They get pick 8 and they get pick 10. So the Hawks were supposed to have pretty high picks this year. They were projected to have, the first one was supposed to be number 5, and then the second pick was supposed to go number 9. However, that did not happen. They went 8 and 10, so they really dropped pretty far in the draft. Now I skipped over number 9, but that one was the Wizards as well. So they kind of dropped a little bit as well. They were supposed to be the 6th pick according to the odds that they had coming into the lottery. So a lot of teams just dropped really quickly. So the one team, and I know I'm going through this really quickly, but like I said, there's a lot of stuff I want to kind of talk over real quick, winners, losers, that kind of thing at the end of the video. But the number 7th pick went to the Chicago Bulls. That they actually had the fourth best odds to get the number 1 pick. They were actually the team that I was rooting for that would actually get Zion. I really wanted them to get the number 1 overall pick, get Zion, and kind of build with that because they've got a pretty decent little nucleus going with their guys there. I mean, I guess the other 3 teams do a little bit to an extent as well too, but I really like the Bulls. I thought the Bulls would have a good shot at getting it, but they really didn't. They went down to 7 from 4 to 7, so not really what you expected. But there's some pretty good players that are in the top 7, top 10, so it's not a loss. Any one of these teams are going to get good players, but obviously you want to be closer up as much as you can. Now number 6 goes to the Phoenix Suns. They were one of the 3 teams that had the best odds, the 14% shot to get the number 1 pick. So essentially the top 3 teams, or I guess the worst 3 teams, had the same 14% chance to get it. The Suns went down to number 6 though. Now following them right after that, again, Cleveland was one of the teams as well that had a top 3 chance to get a number 1 overall pick. They dropped to number 5. So the Suns and the Cavs go down to, they go outside the top 4. Now, I didn't mention the Lakers in a while. The Lakers actually got the 4th pick overall, which I am excited about. It's a pretty much, it seems like to me that it is a foregone conclusion as far as what the top 3 are going to be. John Morant, RJ Barrett, and then obviously you've got Zion Williams. So the 4th pick is really that kind of sets the tone for the next couple of picks that come out. I personally have an opinion on who they should go get with that pick, but obviously we're going to go over that in the future videos, so stay tuned on that. But the Lakers go to number 4. That's a heck of a win. Maybe if you're going to keep building around LeBron, you trade away that pick and you bring in another star or attempt to bring in another star. However, I don't think it's going to work out with LeBron. I'll just be honest with you. I don't think it's going to at this point. I know he had injury issues, and I get all that, but the problem is there's a lot of drama. Forget the injuries. Nobody foresaw all this drama. Nobody foresaw, Magic Johnson stepping down. Nobody foresaw any of that stuff. So, I think they keep the pick. I don't think they're going to trade it unless it's to Pelicans for Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is worth more than the 4th overall pick, in my opinion. So I don't think that I don't think that it gets traded. I think the Lakers keep it, and I've got some ideas on who they should draft, like I said. Now, the last team that had the best chance, the 14% shot to get the first overall pick, was the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks did not get the number 1 pick. They got the 3rd overall pick. So they're still going to get a fantastic player. Probably, from what I'm reading like online and everything, they were probably going to get like RJ Barrett more than likely. So that's probably, that's likely who they're going to get. Because number 2 overall is the Grizzlies. Now, Grizzlies, they're in kind of a funny situation with Mike Conley. They traded away Marc Gasol last year. I think they tried to trade Mike Conley last year, but he's got a pretty big contract. So I don't think anybody's going to, I mean, you're going to have to probably sell him pretty cheap, in my opinion. So if you go get that 2nd pick and you go get John Morant, you've got the new point guard to be able to replace Mike Conley with. You trade Mike Conley for maybe 2 mid first round picks, maybe, if you can get that much. Maybe go get, well, I don't know. I was gonna say something stupid and say the Hawks, but the Hawks don't need them. They got Trae Young, so I don't know what they do. They're in a funny situation. We'll do a recap video on them as well too. What our thoughts are on what they should do. I'll also get some mock drafts out for you guys as well too, as far as what I think should be the draft order if I was these teams and what I would be picking for needs. Obviously, things always happen with these drafts. People draft people that you don't really think is going to happen. Like, there's always this crazy, out of nowhere picks. Like, for example, Porzingis a few years ago, they didn't think that was going to turn out, and I mean, Lakers should have gotten him, honestly, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, there's always these crazy random picks and stuff, and so the draft order always kind of moves around, like as far as where players are supposed to go. Some teams reach, some people don't. Some people go with what we expect sometimes, but like I said, sometimes they don't. So we'll just see how Summer League goes and how not the Summer League, but the NBA draft combines go, and see kind of what that's about. I'll try to recap as much of that as I can, but obviously Grizzlies have a fun offseason coming ahead, especially for the draft and gearing up for that. And then with the number 1 overall pick, it's going to the New Orleans Pelicans. I almost said Hornets there. It's going to the Pelicans, guys. That's going to be interesting. What do they do with Anthony Davis? They keep saying that they want to keep working, keep trying to make things work out with him. I don't know if it's going to happen. I doubt it's going to happen. There's a whole saga of stuff that happened over this past year. I can recap it for you guys if you want me to. I'm a Lakers fan, so I might have a shrewd point of view to it, but I think that it was kind of messed up what they did to Anthony Davis, and honestly, I don't think Anthony Davis did as much wrong as we all think that he did. So the dude just didn't want to play with him. He played there for like 7 years, 8 years, whatever it was, and they put one winning team around him, and then right after that, and that was last year when they beat the Portland Trail Blazers and they swept them, and then right after that, half that team is gone anyway. So it's like, he doesn't want to keep playing there if you're not going to put teams around him. And then when he asks for a trade, now you want to try to mend fences and you want to try to fix it all and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, if the New Orleans Pelicans can keep things going, by all means. I'm a huge fan of loyalty. Like, we're in Oklahoma City, where I'm at, most of my friends are at, and so we're really big in Russell Westbrook here, obviously, because he's loyal and he stayed after Kevin Durant left. But the thing is at this point, we didn't have the drama that we had with some of our players that the Pelicans do with theirs. So I don't know. Can they keep it? Give me your thoughts. What are the questions below? What do you think the Pelicans, or what do you think your favorite team is going to do this if they're in the lottery? What do you think your favorite team is going to do with their pick? Are they going to keep it? Are they going to trade up? Going to trade down? Going to try to trade Mike Conley for something? So as always, guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment on what you think is going to happen with your team. Thanks, guys.